I vowed to keep up the fight against the so-called Defense of Marriage Act.
Mr. Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
we
president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay. She does this.
Secretary Panetta, thank you for your introduction and for your extraordinary leadership. To members of Congress, Vice President Biden, members of the Joint Chiefs, service secretaries, distinguished guests, and men and women of the finest military in the world. And most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah, Michael and I also want to acknowledge your son Jack, who's deployed today. All of you have performed extraordinary service to our country.
Now on to Joan Rivers. She reportedly went into cardiac arrest this morning and was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital.
And turning now to a health crisis for one of America's most iconic and prolific comedians, Joan Rivers rushed to a Manhattan hospital during a procedure at an outpatient clinic. She is now listed in critical condition.
I'm Shepard Smith at the Fox News deck in New York. The comedic legend Joan Rivers has died. A statement from her daughter was released just a short time ago, in fact, over the last minute, and it reads from her daughter, "It is with great sadness that I announce the death of my mother, Joan Rivers. She passed peacefully at 1:17 p.m., that's Eastern Time, surrounded by family and close friends."
Knocked it off the bucket list right now.
Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all.
Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. I vowed to keep up the fight against the so-called Defense of Marriage Act.
Oh, okay, as you can see, it's in a large one here. Here you go. Okay, so we've got it. It is written by Justice Kennedy as we expected. I believe that is the case, yes. He is joined by Justice Ginsburg, Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan. That suggests to us that this is going to be upholding the right to same-sex marriage. This is what it says. The 14th Amendment requires a state to license a marriage between two people of the same sex and to recognize a marriage between two people of the same sex when their marriage was lawfully licensed and performed out of state. There were two questions in this case. The court has run the board in favor of those who do favor same-sex marriage, not only saying there is a constitutional right to same-sex marriage, but saying that if you're married in one state that does recognize it and another one that doesn't currently, it's got to be recognized everywhere. This is the best case scenario for supporters of same-sex marriage. Again, written by Justice Kennedy. It appears that on this case, the Chief Justice did not go with him as he did yesterday, what we saw. The Chief Justice Roberts filed a dissenting opinion in which Scalia and Thomas have joined him. In addition, Scalia filed his own dissenting opinion, which Thomas joined. Thomas also filed his own dissenting opinion, which Scalia joined. Alito filed a dissenting opinion. So we have the block of 5 justices. Kennedy goes with the left wing of the branch. Ginsburg, Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan upholding and finding same-sex marriage is a constitutional right. It is going to be across the board in all 50 states. And again, dissenting opinions written by each of the 4 justices who find themselves in the minority. And again, the bottom line, the 14th Amendment does require states to recognize same-sex marriages performed out of state. Same-sex marriage, since same-sex couples may now exercise the fundamental right to marry in every state, this is now all 50 states, there's no lawful basis for any state to refuse to recognize a lawful same-sex marriage performed in another state on the ground of its same-sex character. We know that there are a number of states that only recognize traditional marriage. According to the Supreme Court, that is now over. In all 50 states, same-sex couples can now, as of today, in this lengthy 6, 2015, gay marriage is now legal across the United States because of this 5-4 opinion.
For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who, knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them.
An historic ruling by the nation's